And good evening, East Alabama, West Georgia. It is 10:32 Central, 11:32 on your eastern side of the time zone on your Sunday evening. Dr. Don in here with you with a quick update. We have a very strong thunderstorm that is moving into east central Alabama at this hour. It's lined up basically from about Waldo down to Chambers Springs. It's moving into central and southern Talladega County, and will most likely move across Clay County, and if it holds together, eventually maybe northwest Randolph and up into southern Cleburne and southern Calhoun counties as well. And you see the times there on the screen, and I'm going to, let's see if we can stop that and redraw it to give you the absolute latest. Stand by just a second. Let's see if we can get this to draw properly for us. And then we'll give you some more accurate times. It's moving northeast at around 52 miles per hour, so it's moving pretty fast this evening. Yeah, that didn't work. Let's try that one more time. All right, let's draw that out to 52 miles per hour. Now then. And we'll go in a little bit closer for you and move that back. And we've got the times there on the right-hand side of the screen. So in the Waldo area right now, Ashland by about 10:50 p.m. We're looking at Delta around 10:54, Lineville about 10:54 as well. Chulafini by 10:57, Pine Tucky by around 11:04 p.m. Wedowee Marine about 11:06. Should be in the Newell area around 11:11. Pine Hill about 11:13. Moving into the Woodland area around 11:14. Ranburne at 11:18. Back over toward Bucktown around 11:21. Bowden 11:24. In Mount Zion around 11:30 if this storm holds together. Not severe, and we don't have a special weather statement at the moment. We did have a special weather statement as this storm moved through Childersburg, but the Weather Service has not reissued the special weather statement. Nonetheless, there's going to be a tremendous amount of lightning with this line of storms, very heavy rainfall, and maybe some hail. We've been seeing some reports of hail back over Shelby County and portions of Talladega County when this storm moved through places like Childersburg and Sylacauga a few moments ago. We'll put this in motion so you can kind of see the general direction that the storm is moving, and it may be fluctuating in strength. It looks like it's lost some of its hail core, and then the last couple of scans there looks like the hail core may be trying to come back. You'll see all that purple that was popping down there south of Childersburg, then it kind of went away. Then now we see it coming back. It's just kind of pulsating up and down as it moves off to the northeast. It's riding right along that stalled front. It's kind of the north end of it's really not in good, juicy air. The south end of it is in a better environment. So it's kind of fluctuating in intensity as it moves off to the northeast. I believe we have a new special weather statement that's just been issued by the National Weather Service. A strong thunderstorm will impact central Talladega, southwestern Cleburne, and central Clay counties through about 11:15 p.m. At 10:35 p.m., Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm over Waldo or near Talladega, moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. Wind gusts of up to 40 miles per hour and pea-sized hail can be expected with this storm as it moves off to the northeast. We'll bring that back current. You can see that new special weather statement that the National Weather Service just put out for this particular storm. Zoom out a little bit, you can see that we do have some storms now just to the west of downtown LaGrange. We have a very small cell sitting just south of Franklin. We have a small cell up there around Welch in extreme northern Chambers County. They're just right on the Randolph County-Chambers County line. And then pockets of moderate showers throughout Chambers, back across Tallapoosa County. You get down here around Montgomery, we have a strong storm south of Wetumpka and just northeast of downtown Montgomery. Some heavier storms in southern Chilton County, right along the Chilton County, Autauga County line, Bibb County, some showers there. Heavier thunder shower down around Marion, and this just goes all the way back into Mississippi. So it's going to be one of those nights where you're going to hear rumbles of thunder from time to time. This storm that we're watching, and the reason we're here, is just below severe limits, now just east of Talladega, stretching really from about Bynum up there at the Anniston Army Depot on I-20 down to almost the stair step between Talladega and Clay County near Waldo, and then down to around Chambers Springs. And this storm system, again, moving off to the northeast at around 50 miles per hour. So it's going to move across the area pretty quick. And so, again, nothing severe, but it's going to be a pretty strong storm when it moves through places like Ashland, Bowden Grove, here around Concord, Union, Cheaha State Park. I mean, if you're up there on top of the mountain looking back to the southwest, you're seeing a pretty good thunder shower activity, lightning show that's taking place back to the southwest. But again, it's not severe. This is a special weather statement that the Weather Service has just issued. The weather statement will be in effect until 11:15 p.m. Storm is moving to the east-northeast at about 58 miles per hour. Maximum sized hail is 1/4 inch, and the wind gust is at 40 miles per hour. So if you're up here in central or northern Clay, southern Calhoun, southern Cleburne, northwest Randolph, heads up, got a pretty strong thunderstorm moving off to the northeast, moving out of Talladega into Clay County at this hour. And we'll draw the times for you again. And there you go. We're looking at Ashland around 10:48. So about another 8 minutes or so, this line will be in the Ashland area. Lineville about 10:51, Chula Finney about 10:53, Ava Community at 11:07, Newell around 11:08. Understand, folks, these times are approximate. I mean, you can't set your watch by it, but in that general time frame is what we're looking at. Woodland about 11:11, Ranburne around 11:14, Bowden about 11:20, Ephesus around 11:20. Mount Zion at 11:24. These are central time, so if you're in Georgia, add an hour to that. Rupeville around 12:28. Carrollton about 12:31. The expected arrival time of this line of thunderstorms. Well, Nick, you bear the same last name. I bet you do know him. Thank you, John. I'll zoom out just a little bit and let you guys over here in Heard County see that strong storm sitting just north of downtown Franklin. That's out there on 34, going out toward the school. You're going back up toward Newnan, or if you're in Newnan, headed back toward Franklin. You got some lightning going on there just north of Franklin. And then down in Troup County, just north of downtown LaGrange, a heavy shower there. That stretches all the way back into Chambers, right across West Point Lake. And then just northwest of Lafayette, up Highway 77, some heavy rain showers there. None of that is severe. We are tracking this one storm that's coming out of Talladega into Clay. And you can see that it's really going to affect the northern part of Clay more so than central and southern. Ashland, you may catch just a little bit of the southern tip of this as it moves through. But the better portions of this storm is going to be just north of Bowden Grove. Between Union and Bowden Grove is where the heaviest part of this storm will move through there in Clay County. You folks up here in Delta, you're going to get probably the brunt of this as it moves through. And again, we're talking about wind gusts of up to 40 miles per hour and maybe a quarter-inch in-sized hail. I want to go over and look at the velocity. Oh, let's look at the base velocity. And let me see what kind of wind we're looking at here. Yeah, there's a 43, there's a 50. And no question, we've got a little rotation going on right there, but that is broad rotation, and it's elevated. So no danger of a tornado. I mean, all thunderstorms rotate by nature. They wouldn't be a thunderstorm. And so we do have some rotation right there just to the northeast of Ashland. That 50 mile per hour, that's in the upper levels of the atmosphere, so you're probably not seeing 50 mile per hour winds at the ground. That's probably going to be more like 25 to 30 at the ground. Some stronger winds down here just to the north and west of Ashland. There is a pocket of 40 to 50 mile per hour elevated winds. That's probably 20 to 30 mile per hour on the ground. And that's near Ashland. Go back to the reflectivity, and that's going to be a gust front that's coming in right there, not necessarily anything associated with the heaviest part of this storm, because that's up here to the north, really south of, or starting at Cheaha State Park, and then coming down to 81 is where the possible hail is taking place, and that's headed directly for Union, and up here around Needmore, and down toward Delta. Maybe some gusty wind right along this front, but the heaviest part of the storm is going to be well north of Ashland, and I think north of Lineville. I think the heaviest part of this is going to move right through the Union community on your way up there to Cheaha State Park up there on 49. Over here toward Haynes Crossroads, Needmore, Delta, and all the way up toward Cheaha State Park. Got some hail showing up there also. And very heavy rainfall. Now, we're talking blinding rain with this line of storms moving into Clay County. Moving pretty quick. Again, 40-mile-per-hour winds moving northeast at around 53 miles per hour, anywhere between 53 and 58 miles per hour. That'll move through an area pretty quick. Munford, yeah, you're up here on the right on the northern end of all of this, so yeah, you're going to get some gusty winds and very heavy rainfall. You got some thunder and lightning now from Anniston back down to Oxford and Munford. That's on the extreme north end of this line. I think the heavier weather will be south of you in Munford, but certainly you're going to get some gusty winds and some thunder and lightning and wind when this thing moves through. Again, there's some more timing for you, and I don't like the way that worked. Let's try that again. And again, these times are approximate. They're not exact. Chula Finney around 10:52, Wedowee Marine around 11:03, Newell at 11:07. In the Woodland area at 11:10, Ranburne 11:13, Bowden 12:19, Ephesus around 12:20, Roopville around 12:28. Carrollton about 12:31. And this storm is running right along and just south of I-20. I think by the time it gets over to probably the Heflin area, it may start moving a little bit north of I-20. But the leading edge of it up there, right where 431 intersects with I-20 right this moment, stretching down to around Chula Finney, down to Delta, then back to about Bowden Grove. Again, I think the heaviest part of this stays north of Ashland. Lineville, you're really not going to get much of it either. I mean, you see what's going to move through Lineville, mostly green. There could be a little bit of heavy rain back here at High Pine. Ashland, you could catch a little bit of it, and Lineville could catch the extreme southern end of this. But no question, the heaviest part of this system will cross over Highway 9 north of Barfield and up to about the Cleburne County line. Real heavy coming through Union at the moment. Yeah, this is not going to come anywhere close to Roanoke, and certainly not Odenville. This, if I'm not talking about your particular location, then there's nothing going on in your location. We're focusing on the heaviest storm in the area at the time. And this is going to be moving across northern Clay and extreme northern Randolph. If you're in Anniston, if you're in Oxford, you're in the clear from this storm and has moved on to your east. And for you folks that are north of I-20, you can see right there, there's just not much happening up there at all. Aniana's looking good. Holly Pond, Sardis, Gadsden, Southside, Raglan, Asheville. It's just all light rain up there. This is really the only strong storm in East Alabama. Actually, it's the only strong storm in the state of Alabama that's prompting a special weather statement at this hour. We got some heavy cells down here just northeast of Montgomery up in Elmore County, and some heavy rain occurring across central Chambers, and then back in Coosa, right down there around Clanton. We've got some thunder and lightning going on, but the only storm in the state of Alabama that's drawing the attention of the National Weather Service is this storm that's rapidly moving through East Alabama. And now the heaviest part of it is in the Delta community there in extreme northeastern Clay County. I'll put this back in motion so you can see just how fast this storm's moving. I mean, it is not wasting any time. Yeah, it's had that bowl look to it, John, for the last, probably the last hour or so. And it's pulsating. I mean, it'll fluctuate strong and then it loses some strength. And, I mean, about every other scan, we have a different looking hail core within this thing. But so far, I mean, it is rotating because it's a thunderstorm. But so far, the rotation has been pretty broad on this. We got some 30-mile-per-hour winds right there near Foster's Crossroads in Randolph County. That's elevated now, so you're probably not seeing that at the surface. And then right here, just east of Barfield, back down to about Highway 48 in Lineville. There's some 60s. I saw 71 right there. This is not at the surface. This is up. There's a 78. That's pretty significant. But this is probably equating to about 35 to 40 mile per hour wind gust at the ground. And it's not a very large area, but if you are east of this, places like, this is in Randolph, Liberty, Mad Indian Creek, Ophelia up there on 48. You've got some pretty gusty winds coming your way from Clay County. That's your gusty wind, and it is moving in this general direction. So now the National Weather Service is issuing a special weather statement for northern Randolph and Cleburne County. Strong thunderstorm will impact northern Randolph, southeastern Calhoun, Cleburne, and northeastern Clay County through 11:30 p.m. At 10:55, Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm near Corinth, or 7 miles south of Heflin, moving to the east at 55 miles per hour. That's Corinth over in Clay, not Randolph. The hazard is going to be wind gusts of up to 40 miles per hour and pea-sized hail. Again, this new special weather statement just issued by the National Weather Service. So let me go back to the reflectivity, and you can see that right there. And the new special weather statement will populate here in just a few moments, but it's primarily going to be the special weather statement for this area back down to about right there. So everything inside that white there is pretty much what the special weather statement is going to be for. And yeah, that's not exact. That really wasn't a good drawing. Let's try that again. That's a little better. I didn't do well in art school. And the arrows are showing you the direction this storm is moving. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Josh. Well, I had to stay up and watch the the Super Bowl. So I thought I would jump in here and kind of give you a little coverage on this storm system that's moving through the area. Lightning output, yeah, it's respectable. We're talking 82 strikes of lightning in the last 3 minutes along this line of storms. And the lightning really stretches from north of I-20 back over toward Heflin, down to around Chulafini, the Delta area, Barfield, and then there's not much lightning to the south end. But this running the north end of this right along I-20 and the south end of it down in Clay County. And you'll notice that purple line that's draped right across Alabama up into just north of Atlanta, that is the stalled out front. And this storm running right along that front line. And that's what we're going to see as we go throughout the rest of tonight. We're going to see individual disturbances that will continue to run right along this stalled out front. And that's why there is such a concern for flash flooding in these areas, because, heck, you could pick up a quick 1 inch of rain with a thunderstorm like this. You know, half to 1 inch of rain. If you have 4 or 5 of them within a couple of 2 or 3 hours, then you can see where the issue may come in with the possibility of flooding. Only weather statement in the state of Alabama at this hour is going to be for this line of storms that's moving from just north of Heflin all the way down now into Randolph County, pretty much out of it over here in Clay. This thing's trucking off to the northeast at 58 miles per hour, so it's not going to hang around long. The heaviest of this weather now has already crossed over 431 in Randolph and is headed toward Hightower in Cleburne County, about to cross Highway 46. The hail core now crossing over the Pine Tucky community up there in northwestern Randolph. Heads up Newell. This will come blowing in here pretty quick. Gusty winds, 30 to 40 miles per hour, will be possible really anywhere from Woodland up to Newell, and then back up into Cleburne County up there around Ranburne. It's going to eventually make it on into Georgia, so heads up Bucktown, maybe Ephesus, Bucktown, Bowden, High Point, eventually Carrollton, Roopville. Hey, David, I think that's supposed to be Foster's Crossroads. No, Odenville should not get anything horrible. I mean, there's nothing horrible out there at the moment for Odenville. You do have, there is a slight risk of storms up there tonight, but, if we look back off to the west, there's just nothing happening over here, in West Alabama. You need to look over here around Fayette or Hamilton for Odenville, and there's just nothing happening over there. And you can see north of I-20, nothing happening either other than some light rain, maybe some occasional heavier showers. So no danger up there in Odenville for the remainder of the night. Now, we'll have a final push late morning into early afternoon tomorrow, and we could see some severe weather then. But as of right now, this is the heaviest storm in the state of Alabama, and it's about to be in Georgia. And there's just nothing else happening out there. Even if we look back into Mississippi, you got to go way back down here to Hattiesburg before you pick up a severe thunderstorm warning in Mississippi, and even down around New Iberia. We see some stuff south of Baton Rouge, but that is going to move across South Alabama. So, yeah, really nothing to be concerned about. I don't think there's going to be much to be concerned about anywhere in the state of Alabama tonight. We'll see what tomorrow holds. There's still a lot of question as to whether or not we can get any severe weather going tomorrow morning. But Odenville should be fine for the remainder of the night. You're welcome, Brooklyn. Heaviest part of this now has already moved through the Folsom area, headed for Newell. Graham up here, get ready, Bucktown. I think the heaviest part of it may actually now, it looks like it may stay a little bit north of Woodland. But from just north of Woodland up there around Spratlin's Grocery up to the north, up 48. I get up there around Graham, Bucktown, and then 100 all the way up to Bowden. That's going to be a wet ride here in just a few moments. We now have a special weather statement that has been issued for extreme northern Heard County, though I think this may not even make it into Heard, but it's going to be a close call. And for Carroll County. This is a special weather statement. Strong thunderstorms will impact portions of Haralson, Carroll, northwestern Heard, and northwestern Coweta County through 12:30 a.m. Again, I don't really think this makes it into Heard or Coweta, but we'll see. At midnight, a strong thunderstorm was over Mikeyville, or 11 miles south of Heflin, moving to the east at around 60 miles per hour. 40-mile-per-hour wind gust and pea-sized hail will be the main threats with this storm. And that is going to be that line of thunderstorms that you see right there on the screen. Hey, Jessica. Heads up, Carrollton, High Point, Bowden, Bucktown, maybe Roopville, Bremen, Buchanan. And that's probably what we're looking at right there. So Ranburne at 11:10. That's just in about 3 or 4 minutes. Tallapoosa at 11:14. Bowden at midnight, at 15 after midnight. We're looking at Ephesus around 12:17. Waco at about 12:20. Bremen around 12:22. Roopville about 12:23. Carrollton around 12:25. Temple, Georgia, about 1229. Villa Rica around 1236. Douglasville about 1246. Lithia Springs by around 1252. Mableton about 1257. And into College Park and East Point about 103 and 104 respectively. So this will make it into, if it holds together, should make it into the Atlanta Metro by about just shortly after midnight. I'm sorry, shortly after 1 a.m. Not easy covering a fast-moving thunderstorm in two different time zones. Gets confusing sometimes, and I live in the Eastern time zone. You can disregard this special weather statement for Clay. That has expired. The one for northern Randolph, if you're northwest Randolph, you're fine. The special weather statement now really only pertains to the extreme eastern side of Cleburne from I-20 to the south, and in Randolph County from about Newell all the way over to the Georgia state line. And then we have a new special weather statement that's just been issued for Carroll County. Officially, it's got extreme northern Heard and extreme northwestern Meriwether. Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a close call for both of those counties. I think the bulk of it will be up here in Carroll County. But again, nothing severe. This is just a strong thunderstorm with a lot of thunder and lightning, very heavy rainfall. The good news is it's moving to the northeast at around 58 miles per hour. So it should not cause shouldn't cause any flooding issues because it's moving so fast. But the rainfall will be very heavy for a short period of time. So what we're going to do here, it is 11:10 p.m. Central, 12:10 a.m. Eastern. We're going to continue to watch this closely. And if we were to go up to warning status, of course, we'll come right back and continue with our coverage. Let me kind of zoom out so you can see what's happening across the entire United States at this hour. And let me also go over to the composite, because that'll give us a look at everything. And it'll take just a second for that to load. Again, for those of you that are watching us away from East Alabama, we had several folks in here earlier from up north of Birmingham and back up toward Gadsden and Odenville. You can see there's just nothing happening up here in North Alabama, nothing to be concerned about. The only storm in the state of Alabama that has drawn any kind of attention at all in the last couple of hours is this storm that's rapidly moving into Georgia right along the I-20 corridor up here. And that is moving on up toward Atlanta. We have some rumbles of thunder, some small pockets of heavy rain, maybe occasionally some heavy rain, moderate to heavy with occasional thunder and lightning that's riding right along this stalled out front, which is that pinkish purple line you see that stretches from near Atlanta to almost down to Clanton, back to Demopolis. And that's going to be the focus, I think, for the remainder of the night. That's where the showers and thunder showers will be. We do see a tornado watch that's been in place, it seems like forever, over here in Mississippi. It was set to, was set to expire earlier this evening. They extended it out to 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. And we'll see if they hold on to that. But the atmosphere back over here in Mississippi is much more conducive for severe weather than it is across Alabama. And that's why we've been seeing some of those heavier storms over here around places like Meridian, south of Jackson, Mississippi, down to around Brookhaven, Macomb, Mississippi, Hattiesburg. They've just been getting hit after storm all afternoon. And eventually, I think this area of unstable weather is going to creep over into southwest Alabama. So maybe some pre-dawn thunder and lightning over here for you guys. And then on the backside of all of this, we'll have to see. There is a chance, though I got to tell you at the moment, it doesn't look like a large chance. We're probably looking at a 50-50 chance of seeing severe weather toward 10, 11, 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, somewhere in that time frame, late morning, early afternoon, across East Alabama and West Georgia. It is possible that we could see a few storms tomorrow morning. But we'll have to kind of see how that plays out as we get a little bit closer. So we'll continue to watch this for you closely. If we were to see any life-threatening weather develop across Alabama, then we'll be back and we'll continue with our live coverage here on Dr. Don's Weather. Thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you back in here first thing tomorrow morning at least with our primetime forecast or severe weather coverage, whichever comes first, here on Dr. Don's Weather.